The main thing that frustrated me when I started was a feeling of a very slow progress. I saw other people creating the most amazing works and I couldn't even hold my pen steady. I felt like I would never learn and was on the point of throwing my drawing tablet away more than once.
But I stuck with it and I broke through the frustration barrier. Now don't get me wrong, I'm still terrible, but the difference is that now I don't feel frustrated, but I enjoy painting. Even when I draw terrible stuff, painting no longer drains my energy, but I actually get energy from painting, which is a great feeling. So I put together a list of 6 tips to stay motivated. Tip number 1, make sketching accessible. Just because you're stuck to the computer on digital art doesn't mean you can't practice on paper too. When I practice on paper, I use a simple pen and a sketchbook. Why? Because I have them. It's so relaxing not to have to stress out about what kind of special pens or inks or papers I should use. I just use whatever I have at hand, and anyway, I'm only practicing, so I just keep a textbook in my bag and a pen in my pocket, and then I can practice anywhere I am, whether I'm on my commute to work, standing in line at the baker, lying on the beach in my holiday, I can practice. Tip number 2 is be terrible. Be sloppy. Don't be a perfectionist. Why not? Well, that allows you to draw much more. And it doesn't cut into your enthusiasm. You learn much more by drawing 100 terrible pictures than drawing 1 perfect picture. So long as you're still just practicing, there's no point in getting every detail right anyway. Just try something out. If you don't like it, try something again next time, etc. Tip number 3. Keep all your work. Don't throw anything away, even if it is terrible. Just put it away and have a look at it again later in a week or more. You can keep all your paper sketches and all your electronic sketches. What I do is I store all my sketchbooks in a single file. Depending on what you're interested in, you might have a couple of sketchbooks, maybe one dedicated to poses, maybe one dedicated to clouds, or one dedicated to anything you like. In these electronic sketchbooks, I use layers as pages. Having one file, I can store the various sketches on layers. In this way, I can easily flip through on what I've worked on. Often happens that something which I thought was terrible turned out to be pretty good when I looked at it with a fresh perspective. Tip number 4, work on a personal project. A great way to keep up the motivation and to learn a lot is to work on a personal project. This can be like drawing a small comic or drawing a Christmas card for your little brother. For example, one thing I did is I made a board game for my wife. This was when I was learning Inkscape. So not only did I learn a lot about Inkscape, I also got a lot of brownie points for making a personalized gift for my wife. So don't forget though that in this case, tip number 2 might be good to ignore. We don't want to not be perfectionistic enough. If you give a gift to somebody and you only half-assed it, you might not get a good feeling, so do your best. Tip number 5, don't compare yourself to other artists. You will be envious. There are a lot of great artists out there, and it can be easy to feel inadequate when we compare ourselves to them. But just remember that those artists also started from the start too at one point, and they've just put in a lot of time and practice, and there's no reason to think that you won't reach their level. Tip number 6. Learn some more specific techniques and add them to your toolbox. For example, I've already shown you a specific technique on how to draw a wooden surface, a specific technique on how to draw a cloud, and a specific technique on how to shade and highlight. As I'm fond of saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So one thing you can do is learn some more specific techniques. For example, how to draw a glowing something or how to draw water. The more techniques you learn like this, the more tools you have in your toolbox, and the more you will learn to understand the underlying principles of digital painting. We will be learning a lot more techniques in the remaining sections of this course. But there's no need to stop there. There's a lot of other places where you can learn more techniques. One of my favorite places is Pinterest. Just make a Pinterest account and you will find lots of tutorials on painting. Bye for now.